Hey everyone, Ben here, back in Race Room with an absolutely cracking race in the Super Tourers at Circuit Zolder, where I will be starting, very unusually, from pole position. And that's not all. I'm going to be battling out with one of the big hitters on YouTube. Dave Cam is lined up in P3 as the red lights come on. We're about to get underway, and unfortunately that P3 is going to turn into P2, maybe even P1 for Dave Cam, as he's off to a flyer as I bog down and I'm slipping back in the field down to P4 as we enter T1. And it does look as if Dave has just had to settle in behind Kangasniemi into P2, and I'm challenging Phillips down the inside here. I've got to get a move on. I don't want to get stuck behind drivers and lose out on my chance for a podium here. I'm able to squeeze through and make sure that I don't get disconnected then from Dave here as we're getting into the middle sector of the lap. I am quite confident in my underlying pace here in this car at this circuit, so hopefully all is not lost, and I'm going to be able to put on a good showing here as we get into the first chicane for the first time. Extremely easy to pick up an off track around there. In fairness, it's Race Room, it's quite easy to pick up an off track around any corner on the circuit, but we're heavy braking again into the second chicane. Just as easy to pick up an off track around here, and as you can see, I've already managed to do it. Not even one lap completed, I've already racked up an incident point for track limits, but I've got a decent exit here. I might have a run on Dave as we're getting towards the hairpin for the first time. He covers off to the inside. There's not really going to be a way around the outside there. My best hope is that I get a good exit from the corner, but it doesn't look as if I'm going to be close enough. I will get a little bit of slipstream here as we go underneath the bridge down towards the third chicane for the first time. I'm coming to the inside, not really with any hope of mounting an overtake, just seeing if I can put Dave off, but he's a wily old racer is Dave. He's not going to be put off by that kind of thing. I'm going to have to push much harder if I'm going to be able to find a way through during the remainder of this race. On to lap 2 then, and I've still got the lead of this race within my sight. So let's keep going, let's keep pushing and see if I can't just get into a rhythm around this circuit. As I say, quite confident about my underlying pace, particularly in this first sector. I feel like I'm able to carry good momentum through these right-handers, and in particular through the next corner. And a little dab of the brakes early, try and get the car straightened up, and on the gas early as well. And you can see I've got a little bit of a run on Dave here. I'm going to have to go to the outside for the chicane, so my only hope here is that he leaves me room. He doesn't push me out into the wall. It's very, very tight. I wasn't prepared to risk it around the outside this time around, so we're going to have to live to fight for another day. I've got a decent exit from the chicane as well though. Is it going to be enough to get alongside Dave into the next set of corners? It's not. I'm going to have to just regroup, think about the next opportunity, but that is a little sign that maybe at least part of the way around this lap I do have a bit of an advantage over Dave and Kangasniemi up ahead in P1 as well. But we're already on to the next lap here then, and it remains super tight between the three of us, as it looks as if Dave is actually now fancying mounting a move of his own on the lead driver. You can see he's turning up the pressure as we come through the right hand to get ready for the back straight, and he may very well have a run on P1 here. I'm going to just keep in very close attention. I'm getting the slipstream all the way down here, and actually as Dave comes to the inside, there's a little bit of room for me on the outside, but ultimately not enough space to mount an attack. I do though get a good exit from the chicane, and once more as we come over the crest of the hill, the car goes light, but there's just not enough room for me to get down the inside. Dave very nearly tags the rear right of P1 there, but he just gets on the brakes early enough, mounting all kinds of pressure. And look in the rear view mirror, the top 3 is about to become a top 4 as Mario R is now joining the party. This is going to be a huge battle for the lead of this race as we are about third race distance now, 2/3 still to go. Who's going to come out on top? Well, it's anyone's guess at this stage, as once again I've got a decent exit from that corner. I'm going to shape to the inside just to try and get inside Dave's head there in the cockpit. Will he outbrake himself? He won't. But it's just all about the hustle at the moment. Who's going to make the first mistake? Who's going to leave the door open? And one of us is going to dive on through it as we now cross the start finish line once again onto the very next lap. And you can see a back marker up ahead. Now, is this going to play a decisive role? Because he's meandering around the centre of the track. The top 2 are going to go to the right. I'm going to go to the left. Wow. that could have been a race-defining shunt there. I'm not quite sure what that driver was up to on the brakes in the middle of the circuit. Thankfully, every driver in the top 4 there got through unscathed, and actually, if anything, it's given me some impetus in my battle with Dave there for P2. Much better exit. This is the best run I've had. We're right the way alongside here, coming towards the braking zone. How's this going to play out then? Oh, just squeezed out of room on the right hand side, but in any case, it's not really a feasible overtaking spot, that one, if the other driver doesn't make a big mistake. Getting through too wide there, very difficult to think about, and again, very tight entry to that chicane, just not able to get far enough alongside to make that a realistic passing manoeuvre. We're on then to the end of that lap, and you can see Dave is pressured P1 into a mistake, into the final corner of the lap. He's slow on exit. Dave is going to be clear past. I might get clear past here as well. Yes, look at that. We've got much more momentum, and actually, I've even got momentum over Dave as well into T1. I am now going to be up and into the lead, but Dave is going to hang it out around the outside here. He's now going to have the inside for the next set of corners. Got to leave him room on the inside here. This is an absolutely pivotal part of the race. There's a little bit of door banging there between the two of us. Oh, and I'm just able to keep the car out of the grass on the left-hand side. Dave's still down my inside. As we come through the right-hand, he's going to get a nose ahead. And yes, he does nudge ahead, but I'm going to be in his slipstream. I'm going to try and get down his inside this time, but he's got that well covered off. Go back to the outside line here, and I'm just not close enough. And Dave has hung on to that. What a fabulous bit of battling that was. We're still going at it over the bridge. A back marker on the right side. Wow, we were both just able to get through there. That again could have been a huge accident, and once more Dave hangs on to the position, but this time we're fighting over P1. Wow, what a bit of action there between the two of us. Let's take a proper look at it then on replay, and you can see opportunistically I was able to get down the inside line at T1 there as we both passed the previous leader of the race. Dave, though, not to be defeated, hung it out around the outside, knowing he'd have the inside for the next set of corners. A little bit of argy-bargy there between the two of us. And then you've got R has made his move behind 2, so position swapping all the way through the top 4. I just couldn't press home that advantage. Dave did very well there to hold on. Really good, clean, respectful racing between the two of us. At moments there, it could have gone very wrong indeed, and likewise the drivers behind doing very well not to just get carried away into one of these braking zones. Great racing across the top 4 there. We're back to the live action then, and I am still in Dave's slipstream as we're getting towards the business end of this race then. Getting a nice line through T1 there, just looking to put as much pressure on him as I can. He has not made a mistake yet in this race, but as we've just seen with the P1 driver, it can happen, and it doesn't have to be a big mistake to cost you a whole bunch of time. So I've got to keep going here, got to keep pushing and hope that we see a crack in Dave's armour, and maybe we have. He's wide on the exit of the corner there. That is going to give me the chance to get past on the back straight, and actually Dave's going to do very well to hold on to P2 there. Just as I was saying, a small mistake but with big consequences, as I'm now back up into the lead, having lost the lead from pole position at the very start of this race. Now back up into P1, and I've just got to try and compose myself in the cockpit. Now I'm going to have Dave hunting me down from behind, and that's a whole different proposition. Much more straightforward in some respects to have the driver that you're aiming at up ahead of you. Now I've got the danger of checking my mirrors as we get into the braking zone for the hairpin. I've bottled it already. I can't believe it. I was just in my head about the fact that I'd taken the lead of the race, and I locked the brakes into the hairpin. Let's take a look back at 2 defining mistakes there then. Dave just running wide on the right-hander there. Again, small mistake, but with a big consequence as I was able to get past. And then into the hairpin, a slightly bigger mistake, a bit more of a rookie error, to be honest. I shouldn't be locking up the brakes into that corner. And not only have I lost the lead, I'm now down into P3. We rejoin the live action then straight away. I've got to try and get myself back up into P2 and see if I can mount a late challenge to Dave to try and get back up into P1. But for now, I've got to be focused on just getting around the driver up ahead. We're side by side again through this opening section of track. Really brilliant action here. Good racing side by side, but I'm not able to get past straight away. And the danger for me now is I get impatient and I lock another brake into one of these corners. So I've got to just find the right balance here. Another good run then. Coming down into the chicane. He's going to cover off to the left-hand side. I'm getting used to getting stuck on the outside of this corner. And again, I'm not able to make the pass. I'm going to try again up the hill to just get all the way alongside for the next chicane. But already at this stage I can tell I'm not going to be close enough as we get a yellow flag, but I can't see any immediate danger out on track. Oh, the driver up ahead very nearly outbraking himself. Wow, we were so much quicker through the chicane than he was, but I had absolutely nowhere to go. A great illustration of just how narrow this circuit can feel in these cars, how little room for manoeuvre you've got. As I can see Dave negotiating a back marker up ahead. We're going to dive to the inside. The back marker's on the apex. Wow, I got more than a little bit lucky there as I mounted a last minute overtake. I tell you who else got a bit lucky. Dave did, because that is an outrageous bit of driving from the back marker. Very nearly took out the leader of the race. Here I go then, down the inside for P2. Wow, the last thing I expected was to see the car there over the curb. We'll see it one more time. Thankfully, he was making his way off circuit and I was able to get through cleanly and up into P2. And although I tried my best over the remaining couple of laps to reel Dave in, unfortunately we were running pretty similar pace as he power slides out of the final corner. I'm going to cross the start-finish line in P2. A very costly mistake at the hairpin, but that doesn't take away at all from what was an absolute banger of a race. Tremendous to share the track with Dave. Really happy to have finally, after many years of being sim racing, to have had the opportunity to do that. But really the big takeaway here is just how good these Super Tourer cars are, and what a great combination on the ranked servers this week at Circuit Zolder. They are a marriage made in heaven, and if you get the chance, you absolutely should go and check them out. But I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, leave a like, get subscribed, and I'll see you on the next one.